What's up, guys? Our wrestling podcast back at you with another episode. This is Dave Vicious along with Just Total Package, Craig the British Bulldog, and the Nature Boy Joe, bringing you our perspective on the world of professional wrestling. No inside sources, no ties to the industry, just stories from the diehards, sharing opinions with you. Today's topic: What If Part 2 for audio fans? Give us
Part
some
3,
Apple,
Dave.
Spotify, SoundCloud, and
Yeah,
is it part 3 already?
Part 3,
Yes.
you're
I'm sorry.
welcome. Yeah.
Part 3,
Songs in my
you're
head now.
welcome. Part 3.
Can't fucking get the song.
We did have a lot of topics. Please give us a listen Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, and iHeartRadio, or watch our videos on YouTube at Our Wrestling Channel, and check out exclusive content on Daily Motion at Our Wrestling Podcast. On social media, can you give us a follow on Instagram at O.W.P 2019 or on Facebook at Our Wrestling Podcast? What If is so exciting. I thought we did all those in one event. I was excited to do 2. We did 3. It's like the Vindicators in Rick and Morty. I didn't know there was an episode 2. I guess I wasn't a part of that. I know I was. There's so many episodes, man. I forget. Jess, I am so glad you're bringing this back. I think I brought some good stuff to the table.
Yeah.
What do you want to
Craig
talk
is the
about
one
before we
who
start?
thought of this topic, and it was what if, and we can kind of fantasy book / fantasy. What if something didn't happen? What if so and so never beat so and so? What if so and so did this? So it's what if, and we're gonna go around the table. It's free form, and I want to read the ones that we've already done from the first 2. We have done what if Hulk Hogan never turned heel in WCW. We have done what if Mankind versus Undertaker was just an ordinary Hell in the Cell match with no special bells and whistles. We have done what if Magnum TA never got injured. We have done what if Vince went to prison.
That was me.
We did what if Vince went to prison back in the mid 90s.
Right.
What if Hunter left the WWF in 1996 with Hall and Nash? What if the
Which was
Undertaker?
close.
What if the Undertaker left as the Dead Man and went to WCW as the Biker Taker during the Monday Night Wars?
Damn.
What if they never split the
That's a good
brands
one.
originally? And what if Flair came to the WWF in 1988 instead of 1991? So we've already done
Super
those.
close on that too.
So
That was super close, Jess, by the way.
Yes.
You almost
So
did.
we cannot do those. Those are off the table. Do not do it. Don't fucking do it.
Oh, okay.
So now we can.
Craig's like, I don't have it. I don't have anything.
Craig, so, well,
man.
I'm out because I just copied the list of things that we already did.
Yeah.
So Joe is bedridden right now with an ankle injury, and I feel that Joe should start us off. Joe.
Okay. I was thinking about this, and I obviously listened to the first 2 episodes, and I was like, oh man, these are really good topics. These are really good, like, what ifs. So I think my first what if is let's go back to 1996,
Oh dear. Go on.
June of 1996.
Oh.
We're listening.
King of the Ring. Austin wins the King of the Ring tournament. He goes to have his interview. And what if, instead of giving an Austin 316 promo, they brought out a cape and a crown and made Austin King Stone Cold?
Oh my God.
How does that change everything?
I don't remember what interview it was, or if I'm just maybe another podcast I watched, but somehow it was either asked of him or they're just like, how did you avoid it? You know what I mean? Because like some people
He's the only one who has.
some people have made that gimmick work really brilliantly, and then some people
Yeah.
have just been like, I really shouldn't
Booker
be
T.
wearing this. Yeah. I think Triple H, when Triple H won, like I guess Vince told him to take the cape and crown with him, but Triple H, to piss Vince off every night, would tell his opponent, hit me with a crown or smash the crown. Like, you know, like they'd get the crown from under.
That's right. That's
And
right.
then Vince was pissed because I guess Bruce said that they had to go get, and that prop was not cheap because the crown had to be sturdy and they had to travel with it. So I guess they bought him a few, and he just kept fucking doing it every night, and it would mysteriously
hilarious.
somebody would fall on it by accident or get smashed, and Vince is like, "Fucking fine, just fucking don't wear it then." Like, and I guess that's how Triple H got out of being King Hunter, like because he didn't want it.
Yeah.
He's like, "No, I can't pull that
Wow.
off. I don't want to do
Did
that."
not know that.
So yeah, which is really funny. So, but yeah, to Joe's point, like, yeah,
Wow.
what if he didn't do the Austin 316? Because I think it was either a podcast or Austin himself that just said like it didn't fit me. It wasn't my gimmick. It's not what I wanted to do. And like the King of the Ring made him pay off in a different way. Whereas like people would physically, I mean, Brett wasn't King Brett, you know, like, so it's like, even from the first one, they didn't do the King's thing, but at the same time, like Brett wore the crown and then Lawler came out and hit him. So it's like, yeah, like what if they made Austin just sit there and pose, and Vince is like, you're going to sit there and you're going to pose and you're going to be the fucking king. Like, you know, it's like Austin would be like, I guess, fuck, this is trash. Like, and he would just sit there and have to do it. Like, no legendary promo gets delivered. what the fuck does Austin even look like? Like,
You have to be a chicken.
can you imagine
Sorry.
everything happened the same? Austin stuns McMahon in Madison Square Garden, but he has the cape on and like, you know what I mean? Like everything happened the same, but Austin has a fucking crown and the cape with him.
He's like, you won't talk about your boss. Like, don't you everyone hate their bosses? I do. And he's like wearing a king and a crown and a cape. And he's the ultimate like elite thing. He's the everyman. Like, there's no way.
Care about Stone Cold, and the crown like tilts sideways. He's like, God damn it.
Hold on, guys. Let me fix my crown.
That would be weird. Yeah. But that wouldn't be out of the realm of like Vince just being like, we're gonna stick the fucking formula. You're gonna be the goddamn king. Just you wanted to push, now shut up. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what my thought was like, what if that at some point they just kind of forced him and they're like, go out, fucking put the cape and crown on. You don't have to keep it with you, but you got to put the cape and crown on at the end of it.
Yeah.
That's a great one, Joe. That is a really great one.
Or if he did cut that promo, but he did it in the Austin 316 says I whipped your fucking crown ass.
Goddamn crown.
Fucking fumbling with it. Like
the Magna Carta says I own all your asses. Like it was like Magna Carta or like something.
King promo.
Yeah.
Everyone else is my court jester, and Stone Cold is the king. Like, you know, that's like the whole like thing you had to do.
That would have been
to the cold.
By the way, King Stone Cold would have been so good when he did the heel turn with Vince. It would have been so great if he done it then. If there was a way. I don't think even was a thing then.
And that's the World Declaration. The Stone Cold King said so. Like,
Vince, I'm the king, Vince. I don't know what you want me to do. You know, he's like, well, I want you to go out there and fucking take. Well, I'm the king. Though.
What I want you to do is wear the fucking crown. All right.
Have Kurt do it with the little fucking cowboy hat. Have him do it. You know, yeah.
Oh, 100%. That's a good one, Joe. Way to start us off. Who wants to go next? Dave, Craig?
Can I go?
Yes.
Can I try one? I promise, Craig, I won't steal anything. I promise. I thought about this for a bit because
the prima nocta is when the king gets to sleep with your wife. Sorry.
Oh, it hurts. I thought that pec injury was gone. It's not gone. You made me laugh so hard that it's back. Okay. So my kid said, "What if the Miz never was in the set?" And I thought about it, like, what? That's kind of base, but I said, but it got me thinking. I said, you know, where did Miz come from? And I said, what if Tough Enough never happened? I started to think about everybody that came through Tough Enough, and I'm not saying that none of them would have found their way. I think some of them would. Jess, I think you kind of realize like some of these people are too good. But I started going down the list of people that not that won Tough Enough, because people didn't win Tough Enough and still broke through the business, right? So just listing down a couple of people who got their exposure through Tough Enough. It's The Miz, Morrison, Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose, Ryback, Velveteen Dream, Matt Morgan, Chelsea Green, Kenny King, Josh Matthews, Maven. I forgot about Maven. Oh my god. Nydia.
They were the first two winners. Nydia and Maven.
And Melina too. Melina was in
Tough
Enough as well, who had a huge set with the women's division. And I just thought about that. If Tough Enough didn't provide that exposure, it's not even on my list. I'm just saying. But again, I know Danny Pewter's down the line a little bit, but to your point, Jess, there's a lot of people that wouldn't have gotten exposure and wouldn't have been.
Did you say the concussion guy? What's the fuck? Did you say his name? The one who studies concussions now. Chris. He wore the Letterman's jacket.
Yes.
He was.
Yeah. He was a smart guy, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't Masters. It was.
He legitly does concussion.
Chris Nowinski.
Yeah, Chris Nowinski. He studies concussions now.
He's there too.
Yeah. He actually looks into brain injuries from athletes and all that stuff now. He was the first one who broke with the Benoit thing and just said like this is a brain injury or whatever. Like so that's another one. He was the runner up, right? The year of it wasn't the year of Maven or the year after Maven, but he was a runner up one of the years.
But all of these guys and gals were in Tough Enough and got exposure there. And I wonder.
That's actually good.
What would happen?
And they're kind of bringing it back now. It's called something different. I think it's on the Roku channel. And there was ads for it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there was ads for it on SmackDown tonight where Triple H is like, "It's a privilege to be in this ring," and the drone shot was like 4 rings, like out in the open, like outside, and people were just fucking auditioning on each ring or whatever. So it's not called Tough Enough. Fuck, I don't remember what.
Wow.
So they're re-debuting it now, but actually that's super interesting because they use that as a springboard, and people like Bob Holly and Al Snow got more over because they were coaches on those shows. And I remember Bob Holly
Right, true.
beat the shit out of that guy.
Stumped the fuck out of
Josh
him, yeah.
Matthews, who became an announcer like from Tough Enough, he was like the 3rd runner up or whatever. Him and Taz's banter in the show got Josh Matthews over. And so Josh Matthews became like a commentator for TNA afterwards. He was in WWF for a while,
Right.
an interview guy. So yeah, that was like a big springboard for them. Taz got a human quality to him, so Taz I think got over more, and like Al Snow got over. Bob Holly, Billy Gunn was one of the coaches one time.
Yeah, it's that
yeah.
It's like that Hard Knocks effect. Like when you do these reality shows and you spend a lot of time on the characters of them and the stories behind the stories, whether they're well produced by producers or not, like you can't help but spend more time learning about these guys, and the fact that they were on MTV and other like networks can only help. Yeah, and as an extension of that, so what was NXT was almost in that competition based at first, right?
Yes.
So
after
that Daniel Bryan and the
ECW,
coach and
no, maybe Daniel Bryan was before that. Maybe it was before ECW. I can't remember what came first. No, it was after ECW went off the air. Vince is like, there's going to be a new show called NXT, which is going to revolutionize stuff, and they had them out there live every week. And then remember they got partnered up with the Vet, so Daniel Bryan got partnered up with the Miz, and that was like an extension of Tough Enough. You're absolutely right. Before NXT became its own brand, like television show and like part of the developmental center, it was like a
reality show.
Yeah, it was a hybrid like Tough Enough. Yes, that's true.
Right.
So yeah, NXT may not have been thought of.
It's a good one.
I get that, but yeah, it's a really
good one.
That was a good one.
Craig,
I never
you
even
want to
thought about NXT not coming through. Wow, amazing.
Yes, I would like to, Jess.
You want to talk about like movies? Or?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. What if actually No Holds Barred did make $300 million at the box office and led to Hogan being the next Schwarzenegger, being the next Stallone, and taking him away? We did have the moment where he did Thunder in Paradise, but he did Mr. Nanny and did it sporadically. But what if his schedule actually then blew up after No Holds Barred, and then he had to make a decision or go away, or he could have done WWE Studios and taken Vince into the entertainment section? Like, and I'm trying to think of the timing.
And it was it was a razor edge, right? If No Holds Barred made, I mean, I'm being modest. This was what, 89 when that movie came out. If No Holds Barred even made 30 or 40 million at the box office, that would have been a big enough hit that other movie studios would have been like, when's your WWF contract expire? Like, I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Like, and I think other serious like producers and movie directors would have all like tried to court Hogan like at that point. And I think that's why Vince wanted
I'm actually surprised.
Vince half produced No Holds Barred with New Line Cinema, I think. And then it was a joint venture. So like, because Vince wanted to keep him like in that reign. And I mean, it only made like 5 million or 6 million or whatever it made. But even if it was like for that low budget, if it made like 30 million in 1989, that would have been enough for other studios to be like, well, what if you worked for a real fucking studio? Like, you know, like, you know, MGM or, you know what I mean? Like, what if you did a real movie?
Vince wouldn't have let him go. Like, he would have to do these deals where he would have done it through Vince. So they would have kept him on a tight rein through his whole contract.
And then we would get Hogan coming back like every 6 months to a year, like The Rock does now, getting the pops. Would Hogan been able to have been that attraction? Would, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of crazy to think about.
I hate to be.
I'm actually surprised I was always surprised that Hogan never did that. They opted to do like Mr. Nanny and
Santa with Muscles.
Suburban
like,
Commando.
What was it? Suburban Commando and stuff like that, as opposed to doing a straight up like Commando, Predator, Running Man, utilizing like a big giant muscular guy who not necessarily the best actor. I mean, just follow the Arnold formula. The Arnold model, the Arnold like formula, and just put him in like action movies, which were super hot at the time, you know, and and had gone that route as opposed to being like this kind of tongue-in-cheek, funny.
That's a good point. Like, it stopped at No Holds Barred, and then he went to comedy kind of after that. Like, he really should have tried to.
That's one aspect to look at it. That's one way to look at it. And then the second way to look at it is so when you're dealing with wrestling, Macho probably would have got extra runs. Warrior would have been on top way longer because Vince would have had to have patience with him. And like you would have had to like have these guys, and maybe he would have experimented with I don't know, Brett.
Jake could have stepped up.
Brett as champion earlier, or you know what I mean? Like just a lot of different things like that Vince would have had to explore. Flair might have come earlier because like Vince would have been actively pulling from Rude. Rude might have got.
You might have had like, I was gonna say you might have had more heel runs. Maybe you put the title on somebody like Earthquake for 6 months, or a year. Like,
and what else wouldn't have happened? You know what else wouldn't happen is the NWO never would have taken off.
Yeah, because Hogan probably would have just been in and out for a long time.
He wouldn't even have been there.
He would have been a big movie star, so like, they wouldn't have taken that. So that's a huge ripple effect. I don't even want to think about that. I think we just changed the past now or the future now, but just by saying it out loud.
Yeah. Yeah. No NWO that would have.
I don't think I have anything that can be as good as that. What? Okay. Well, I'm just gonna say it now. So what are we at? We're at 16 minutes.
Oh shit!
In case we don't end around 2. We are recording this the night before WrestleMania 40, the first night. So it's going to air. I
like where you're going.
This is going to air afterwards, and I know this. But what I was thinking is I actually saw a, not a podcast, but someone's, I think it was TikTok channel, and they did like the 6-minute like video where they did, what if every WrestleMania was 2 nights, and what would be the main event of night 1 and night 2? And he started with 1, and he went all the way up. Because everybody knows because of the pandemic, you started out 2020, and since WrestleMania 2020, we've been 2-night WrestleManias, and I like it more personally, to be honest. But
it's lovely.
So I tweaked it a little different. My what if is, what if they had the first WrestleMania, it was a success like it was in Madison Square Garden one night, and then they did WrestleMania 2, 3 venues, that totally sucked and didn't work, and then what if for the third Mania, the big Mania. Like they were like, Vince was like, well, okay, the different venues didn't work, but what if we do it for 2 nights? And then at WrestleMania 3, they started 2 nights. What would WrestleMania look like if it was 2 nights the entire time? Like what WrestleManias can you think of right now that'd be like, oh, that would have been the perfect. I would love for that to have been 2 nights because then this match could have main event night 1 and this match could have been main event night 2.
Yeah.
I'm thinking 8 sticks out to me more because Savage and Flair would have headlined night 1 and Hogan and Sid with the Warrior returning would headline night 2. And then I started thought, what if that was it? If Vince just said, okay, I want a really big event. The first one worked one night. Great. I fucked up on the second one with the different venues. That's not going to work. But what if I do multiple nights?
Even WrestleMania 4, like that was way too long for one night.
Can you imagine
a 2-night tournament?
Hogan and Andre both getting disqualified at the end of night 1 and you fucking all night talking with your friends. What the fuck's gonna happen tomorrow? They're not in it, and all night you got to fucking.
Really good call.
They could change too. If Vince didn't think something worked well on night 1, he's like, "We got to change this. We got to fucking tweak." Like Vince could have done more, like changing of stuff.
WrestleMania 10, Owen and Brett one night, and
10 would have been good.
Oh,
or
wow.
Yeah, Owen.
What was the main event?
Owen winning, and then
they would have done. I think they still would have set it up the same way. It just would have been Luger and Yoko on night 1, and then Yoko and
and the winner of the 2 match, would go to face Yoko.
See, that's crazy. That means Owen and Brett don't headline, and Razor and Sean don't headline either.
Well, they
night,
would headline.
Top of my,
they would headline. They'd just be split up. So Brett Owen probably would have still opened first night, which would make total sense.
Yeah.
And then Yoko and Luger would main event night 1 with Yoko going over with a shit finish or whatever. But still, you knew you had the next day to be like, what's going to happen now? And you knew that Brett lost to Owen, but he still got to face Yoko in the main event.
But I'm saying the 2 best matches of Mania 10, Brett and Owen and Razor and Sean, neither one of those would headline either night. That's all I said.
Exactly. They still probably wouldn't. And then maybe you even have Ramon and Michaels on night 2. Like you don't have them on.
I would say on night 2.
Maybe have them open. The one that comes to mind for me that makes the most sense based on the matches he had was WrestleMania 20. Could have really.
Oh yeah, that one Guerrero. That's easy. Yeah, Guerrero. Because whenever they had 2 titles, it's easy just to say, well, Batista and Undertaker would main event night 1, and then Cena and Shawn would main event night 2, or to Dave's point, WrestleMania 20, Eddie and Kurt. So it would have been a lot easier for the brand split at the time because they'd be like, well, SmackDown main events night 1, or
Right.
vice versa or whatever. So
Yeah.
That's where it really the brand split is where it really starts to make the most sense.
Yeah,
based on the storylines and
if you think about it, so if you did 2 Night Manias towards the end of the streak, Undertaker probably would have main evented many of the last 15 years.
I'm so fucking
The
glad
night
you said
ones,
that because when the guy did it, all the comments were like, "It's amazing how many more main events the Undertaker would have."
Yes,
Because of the streak. The streak would have main evented night 1 for a long time, or night 2. Like Shawn and Undertaker would have main evented a night
both years.
Both years. Like, yeah. So
Triple H,
Yeah,
both
for sure.
years. Has Undertaker ever main evented during the streak?
Yes.
Any Mania?
Yes. Shawn,
Yes.
it was
Okay.
the second match for Shawn. They main evented WrestleMania 26, I think it was.
Okay.
And,
Okay, so good.
Yeah, and then after he lost the streak, he main evented with Roman, and Roman beat him as well.
Okay.
He didn't
fuck.
main event. Didn't he have a title?
And
like
he beat
in, like,
Edge.
The 90s?
He beat Edge the same year that Flair retired. So that year, Flair and Michaels would be in the main event for the retirement, and then it was Undertaker and Edge for the world title, and Undertaker beat Edge in the main event. Undertaker was the legit main event that night with Edge.
yeah.
That's fucking crazy. Yeah,
Imagine,
but then
imagine how many more.
we're also talking about
Not
the
as
good
much
ones
as you
too.
thought.
But then you have the shit years, right? You have WrestleMania 11, 9. Like, what are we doing here?
My.
Yeah. What the fuck are
Like,
you gonna
and night 1
spread
would
that
end
shit
with
out?
9 would end with Gonzalez and Undertaker. Like, the main event. Night 2 would be Brett and actually night 1 would have been Mega Power or Mega Maniacs against Money Incorporated.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah, there's.
Wow.
I'm thinking of the bad ones.
yeah.
Too.
But Hogan got both main events on.
Oh
9.
yeah, he would be wedged in there nicely.
Yep.
So yeah,
And
That's
this black
good.
guy
That's a
might have
good one,
recovered.
Jess.
This
That's
black
a
guy
really
might
good
have
one.
recovered with an extra day.
I don't know. Do we want to do round 2 or do we want to end? It's 22 minutes. Do we want to end this right now? Only going one round, so we know there's going to be part 4.
Let's end it.
I'm okay. I'm
We're
okay
solid.
with the part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's fucking do it.
Okay,
I mean, I got to call this out.
For audio fans, give us an Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, and iHeartRadio, or watch our videos on YouTube at Our Wrestling Channel, and check out exclusive content on Daily Motion for Our Wrestling Podcast. Social media, can you give us a follow on Instagram at O.W.P 2019 or on Facebook at Our Wrestling Podcast? For Craig, Jess, Dave, and Joe, this is the O.W.P signing off. Have a good one.